I am making a crock pot candy. I've got my peanuts. Now make sure you use salted. The salt adds a delicious flavor in my peanut butter chips. And my white bark. This helps them set up. And then my chocolate chips. Put this on low with the lid on and let it melt. All right, I have got my crock pot candy here. And oh, look at that. Oh wow. Oh, this smells so good. Now, you can take a cookie scoop if you want. You can take a cookie scoop, and this is just a small melon one, and scoop it out and just make little clusters, just little peanut clusters. And then take sprinkles. I just have these and just sprinkle them on top. Okay. Oh, I love how that looks. Okay, so then we'll let these set up and I'll show you the other way I will do it. Then I have these cute little Christmas, what do you call them? Mini cupcake liners. And just fill these just like so. Then I'm going to sprinkle you on top. I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, these are gonna be great. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, for crock pot candy, all you gotta do is just throw them in your freezer bag here. Now, these do not have to be refrigerated. If you want to refrigerate them or freeze them, you can, but all you have to do is just put them in a bag and they will last 6 or 8 weeks. Sealed in a bag. If you want to freeze them, you can, but they'll last 6 to 8 weeks just in the bag. My gift to you today is my Dining on a Dime cookbook ebook for free. All you have to do is click the QR code right here, or the link is in the description. You can also go to my website, livingonadime.com, click on my shop, click on ebooks. You will see my Dining on a Dime cookbook volume 1 for free, and then just add it to your cart It is my Christmas gift to you. Making a classic peanut nut bark. This candy is as old as time. All right, I'm going to take my almond bark and microwave it, stirring every 30 to 45 seconds until it's melted. So even though it doesn't look like it's melting much, you want to release the heat so that your chocolate doesn't burn. Okay. All right, now we got it all nice and melted. This was about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. Wasn't paying attention. Look how smooth that is. Okay, I'm gonna pour in our peanuts. Let's see, I'm gonna start with now, I use salted peanuts because the salt makes the candy taste so much better. And I'm not going to mix all of the peanuts fully in. Leave some of them, well, maybe not. Going to spread it out just like so. So it's about a layer thick. Oh my goodness, that looks delicious. We're gonna throw that in the refrigerator and let it harden up, or the freezer, whichever you want, and then we will crack it. All right, got my peanut bark here. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that is darn tootin' cool. Got my pieces here. We're just gonna break it up. Oh, yum. Okay, that looks delicious. Yeah, this is a great candy to make ahead of time, and you don't need to refrigerate it or freeze it. You can just go ahead and package it up, or just put it in a plastic bag and store it until Christmas if you want to make it ahead of time. And then you've got one candy done. Yum. 2-ingredient chocolate peanut bark. I'm making peppermint swirl bark. So I've got my white chocolate here, and I have my chocolate here, and I'm just kind of guesstimating. The amount that I want, because I don't want quite as much chocolate as I do white. Okay, so we're gonna microwave both of these. All right, let's see. My white is melted. Now I did not clean out my bowl because I'm making a whole bunch of fudge. Fudge after fudge after fudge. So I just didn't waste time cleaning because it's the same base. And then my chocolate. Okay. All right, and then just for fun, I've got some candy wafers. I'm going to melt red candy wafers just for a nice little swirl. All right, then I'm gonna add just the last little bit of sweetened condensed milk so that my red doesn't just turn hard. Okay, so now we're gonna drop chocolate in. Oh, I forgot my peppermint. Okay. Okay. So now we are making a just a plain chocolate swirl fudge. All right, well, when you mess up, you adapt and overcome. So I've got these gingerbread sprinkles that are super cute. So, going to push those all in. And then we will see how this peppermint, but not peppermint fudge, turns out. Now it's just regular fudge. Okay, oops. Got my now gingerbread fudge, or gingerbread men. Okay, let's see. Okay, see what it looks like. Ooh, okay, that's not too bad. I like the swirlies. All right, there we go. Yum. Cream cheese fudge. Adding my white chocolate chips or almond bark or baking bars, whatever white chocolate you have or want. Easter bunnies, white chocolate Easter bunnies left over from Easter would also work. Okay. 32 ounces of chocolate, white chocolate, and 1 8-ounce brick of cream cheese, and we're gonna melt this. All right, while that is melting in the microwave, I've got some cherries here. Now you could use nuts, cherries, whatever you want, but I've got some cherries that are the maraschino cherries, and I'm drying those off so that they aren't so moist in my fudge. All right, I'm stirring my cream cheese and my chips every 30 seconds or so, 30, 45 seconds, so they don't burn. You just want it as dry as possible, otherwise your fudge can kind of get too moist and not stick together. You can also use candy cherries, walnuts, almonds, pecans, pistachios, whatever flavor you want. Oh, wow, that smells delicious. Now, you do not have to add this, but I like a cheesecakey flavor. So I'm gonna add just a tiny bit, about a half a teaspoon of lemon extract because I like a cheesecake. I like everything that tastes like cheesecake, and adding that little bit of lemon gives it that taste. All right, now I'm going to dump about 3/4 of these cherries in there. Leave a few to decorate the top. Get this all mixed in. Ooh, that looks festive. This is an easy 3 or 4 ingredient fudge, just depending on what add-ins you do. Okay, now we're gonna let this set up, and then we're gonna come back and cut it. Cherry cream cheese fudge. Oh my, or cherry cheesecake fudge, I should say. Okay, this is a test recipe. So Mike is standing here getting ready to test it. He doesn't know it. But we shall see if it is living on a dime worthy. Or excuse me, super easy recipes worthy. Wrong channel.
Is it a super easy recipe?
Yes, it is. But I may have messed it up.
So it's not as easy as you thought.
No, and I just cut it all wrong too. Shoot. I did not mean to do that.
Well, if you cut it about, each piece about in thirds, then that'd be a 100-calorie recipe.
There you go. Cherry cheesecake fudge.
Ooh, it looks like cheese.
Cherry cream cheese fudge. I don't know what to call this one.
Smells like cheesecake.
Does it? Does it taste like cheesecake?
Mmm.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't have my makeup on, so I'm just
I got a big bite of the cherry, which is why I was slightly delayed. Can we turn it so you can...
No, because I don't have my makeup on.
I don't have my makeup on either. I'm still on camera.
Thank you for not having your makeup on. I appreciate that. Mmm. Okay.
Let me try pieces,
Cherry.
not the cherry.
Cherry cheesecake fudge or cream cheese fudge? Cream cheese fudge.
Mmm,
But it does have a cheesecakey flavor.
it does. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We'll call it cream cheese fudge, but it has a cheesecakey flavor. I am making 2 ingredient fudge. I have my microwave safe bowl, my chocolate chips, and my sweetened condensed milk. All right, we're gonna microwave this in 30-second increments until it's melted. Okay, you wanna stir in between each time so your chips or your milk doesn't burn. Then if it's not getting melted just from the heat on your bowl, which mine's pretty warm, then you could stick it back in your microwave for another 20 or 30 seconds until it's melted. Mine's pretty warm, so I think it might all get melted here. Oh my goodness, yum. All right, now I've got my pan with a 1/2 piece of parchment paper, and we're going to pour the fudge in. Like so. Just get it all nice and smooth, evened out. All right, we're gonna put this in the refrigerator and let it set up for just a couple of hours. All right, I got my fudge here. Now, I didn't put parchment both ways, so if you don't, you may have to loosen one edge, which I've already done. Just lift it out. Now, this is a 9x9 pan, so my fudge is slightly thinner. You can make a double batch if you want the thicker fudge. But you don't have to if you don't want to. You can just figure out what size fudge you like. Oh, yum. All right, there we go. perfect chocolate fudge, just 2 ingredients. I am making 2 ingredient nonpareils. Is that how you say it? I don't know how you say it. So, okay, that is cool. So I've got my little sprinkles here. I'm gonna spread them out all over my tray here. Now, I took my chocolate. Now this is a great recipe for leftover chocolate after you've been dipping candy. And I put it in the microwave, 30 seconds, stirred, 30 more seconds, stirred, and 30 more seconds, and stirred. And now I'm almost all melted. You can see I'm not quite there, but this is warm enough that it's going to go ahead and finish melting. Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty warm. Okay, I'm gonna let that cool just a bit because it's just a little too warm for me to put in my piping bag. And let it cool maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. All right, been about 5 minutes. My chocolate has cooled down, and I'm going to pour it into my piping bag here. Right, got my pan here, and just twist the top. Ooh, that's too big. There, that's better. All right, then I'm going to take the back of my spoon and just flatten it out, just like so. Oops. You want to just tap the top. All right, then you can let these either sit on the counter and harden up, or if you're in a hurry and you need your baking sheet, you can put them in the fridge or the freezer and let them set up. All right, my nonpareils are done. Let's take, oh, look at that, absolute perfection. Oh my goodness, those are so darn tootin' cool. Then you can just do this as many times as you want, and the sprinkles you can just reuse for later if you need them for something else. Ah, I love those. I don't know why. I used to love this candy so much. And oh, I especially love it with white chocolate. Okay. Oh, do I make one with white chocolate? I love white chocolate. It is my favorite. Oh, yum. Okay, now, in order to freeze these, okay, now you can make these several weeks ahead of time for Christmas. And what you'll do is you'll just put them in a baggie, just like so. And if you want to freeze them, you can freeze them, or you can just leave them sitting out in a sealed bag, just like this, and they should be fine for Christmas. Oh, I love it. Two ingredient truffles. This is so simple. Absolutely love it. We've got our sweetened condensed milk. Baking cocoa. This is unsweetened baking cocoa. You want 1 cup. You're just gonna sift it so that, see all those lumps? Just so all the lumps get out. they'll come out. It's just making them smooth. See? Isn't that glorious? All right, and then we're gonna stir this together. Okay, I splatted all over because I didn't use a big enough bowl. What I would do is next time use a larger bowl like this. I don't know what I was thinking. I hadn't had enough tea this morning yet, dear. Tea break. Refreshing. Okay, back to the... Okay, so you just want to get this all mixed in nice like that. Look, doesn't that look delicious?
Yes.
All right, now we're gonna put this in the refrigerator and let it set up for an hour or two till it's really firm, and then we're gonna make our truffles. Okay, I've got my 2-ingredient truffles here. Take a little spoonful, roll it into a bowl, just like that. Roll it into your cocoa. And there you have your truffle. Fudge I am making is chocolate cream cheese. Now I have my parchment paper cutting my parchment paper in half. These parchment paper sheets are the best invention ever. I will leave a link in the description below. They just make it so easy. So for the chocolate cream cheese, I have semi-sweet chocolate chips. You could use milk chips, dark chips, semi-sweet, whatever you want, whatever flavor you like. They all have a different flavor, okay? You can also use different brands. Hershey's tastes different than Nestle's and Ghirardelli versus Walmart. We like the Walmart and the Hershey's the best, but I don't happen to have any Hershey's, so I'm gonna use Hershey's frosting. Get this warmed up and melted. All right, my chips have started to melt, so I'm going to add my can of frosting. I'm using Hershey's because we really like Hershey's for our chocolate. All right, gonna pour this first layer in my pan for my chocolate cheesecake fudge. All right, I'm back now for my white chips. All right, my fudge is getting, or my white chocolate chips are getting melted. I'm gonna add my cream cheese frosting. Heat it up anymore because it'll burn my fudge, so I'm still just letting it finish here. So I'm gonna spread it in my bowl here, or my pan. It's smushed in there. Now, to make this look like a chocolate cream cheese, I'm gonna swirl the chocolate and the cream cheese layers. Just go clear down to the bottom. Don't rip your paper. Just gently bring it up and over and just let it kind of fall back into place. We're going to let this set up in a cool spot, the refrigerator, the garage if you live in a cold climate, outside if you live in a cold climate and you're out of refrigerator room. however you want to do that, but let this get cool and then we'll cut it. Oh, I cannot wait to taste that. That looks so good. So here's a little trick. If your candy has smudge like that, you can take a knife and just riddle across the edge. And that will clean it up. 2 cups is 2 packages of dots. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut all of these up into smaller pieces. Down here. Okay, so I think the easiest way to do this is just to take a knife and just separate, or not separate, but cut each one in half. I think that's the easiest way to get them cut in half. Next thing we want to do is prepare a pan. So I have my parchment paper, an 8x8 pan, and I'm cutting for the corners. Just like, oops, I missed. Just like so. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a microwave safe bowl. This is my favorite one. I got it at a thrift store, but I will put a link in the description below if they still have one similar. I don't know if they do or not, on Amazon. You want 2 tablespoons of butter, and then you want 20 ounces of chocolate chips. So this one happens to be 9 ounces and this one happens to be 11 ounces. So just check your chips. It's basically 2 bags of chocolate chips. Okay, so we're gonna combine that with 2 10-ounce packages of mini marshmallows. These in here because I need to use them up. Hold both packages of chocolate chips. This is 10 ounces of the big ones that I used up. So what I'm gonna do is get this all started melting, and then I'm gonna add the rest of the chips. Then you wanna be sure to stir in between so you don't burn any of your chocolate. You can also do this in a pan on a double boiler if you want.
Double boiler?
Double boiler. Do you know what a double boiler is?
No, I don't.
It is a pan. It's where you take a pan like this, put water in it, and then you take a bowl and put it on top and put your ingredients in here, and it slowly warms it without burning.
Oh.
That's what a double boiler is. All right, now we're getting down. So I'm gonna add my next bag of marshmallows. So it acts like my white chocolate is trying to seize up on me. So I'm just going to go through and keep stirring until I can get the rest of the chocolate melted, or the marshmallows melted, so that the chocolate doesn't get too hot. White chocolate will seize if it gets too hot. You can't diddle around because once it starts cooling, it's hot. Okay, so now let's get all of our candies. Then I'm going to leave some to decorate the top here. Some of the smaller ones to decorate the top. Okay, now here's a little trick. When you have something sticky, spray your fingers. You can just press it in the pan with your fingers. Try to make sure, like if you were envisioning cutting it, that every piece has a little piece on top. So now we're gonna let this set up, and then we will cut it. And do not put it in the refrigerator, just let it set up at room temperature. Okay, it has been 4 hours, and I think, do I dare give this a try, dear?
Looks like nougat to me.
It is supposed to be nougat.
What?
Do you think that it turned out as nougat? Is it too soft still? Size, right? Or wrong?
Depends on how many calories you want.
Okay, as I was dishing this up for the neighbors, Mike said it is.
I said of all the Christmas candies you've ever made, this is probably one of the top 5.
German chocolate fudge. Chocolate chips, 1 package. And I'm just gonna dump this whole thing in and see how this goes. Pecans on top. And a small amount of coconut. We're gonna let this set up and then we're going to cut it. Oh, that looks really good. I am making the infamous Ghirardelli fudge. Everyone kept recommending this, so I'm gonna do this recipe. So I'm going to melt my chocolate, let's see, yeah, my semi-sweet chocolate. Now my store didn't have the unsweetened cocoa, 100% cocoa baking bar. So I got the 72%, so mine's gonna be a little bit sweeter, but you know, it's fudge. You can't have too much sugar with fudge. Now, got that. Now the next thing you're gonna do is add your sweetened condensed milk after the chocolate is melted. Okay, so we're gonna melt this first. Okay, my chocolate looks like it's getting melted. Okay, so we're gonna put in our sweetened condensed milk. Okay, now a teaspoon of vanilla. You could add nuts, you could add chocolate covered cherries, sprinkles, marshmallows and pecans to make or marshmallows and almonds to make Rocky Road. You could add pecans and coconut to make a, what's it called? German chocolate, that's what I was trying to think of. Okay, now we're just gonna let this set up. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, that looks so delicious. I am making chocolate covered pretzels today. This is a great recipe to freeze ahead of time. Now, I got this cute little chocolate dipping pot at the thrift store, and I thought, ooh, I'm gonna try that. There's $1 at my thrift store, and I like that. So, let's see. Ooh, I think that's gonna be good. Now, I think I want my chocolate just a bit thinner. So I'm gonna put a little bit of shortening in. If you want to use coconut oil to thin it, you can. You can use whatever you would like. Let's get that stirred around. It's on warm. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, this is a great make-ahead Christmas candy. You can put it in the freezer or just leave it on the counter if you want. Okay, so there we go. Now, getting whole pretzels. This recipe is in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1, on page 300. And 27. Okay, now, just so that my chocolate doesn't set up, I'm going to put my sprinkles every few. Dippings here. All right, we're gonna let these set up. You can let them set up in the freezer or the fridge for a few minutes if you want, or just on the countertop. All right, here are my pretzels. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love these. Now, if you want to freeze your pretzels, it's like super easy. Just take a freezer bag and put them all in here. Now, if you want to freeze them, you can. It does not soften the pretzels, but I just leave mine on the counter and they are ready to go at Christmas. I make these up a few weeks ahead of time and just keep them in the pantry. Now, what I love, I've used this 3 times since I've had it so far. What I love about this is you don't have to clean this out every time. So let's say you're doing 3 or 4 days worth of chocolate dipping. Start with the chocolates. Start with the candies that don't have as much flavor in the base. So like your pretzels, your nougats, your vanilla bonbons, those kinds of things, and then work your way up to different flavors with things like peanut butter at the end so that the flavors don't get in your chocolate. But I'm gonna save this and just put a little bit of foil on top and then remelt it when I'm ready to go for my next chocolate dipping. I am making turtle candies. Now, this is an adaptation from my original recipe in my Dying on a Dime Volume 1. What I'm going to do is I saw this, I thought, well, that sounds kind of cool. So I'm going to take my chopped pecans. I'm just going to put them all over my tray. Just a layer thick. Okay. Now I'm going to take my caramel, not to be confused with caramel. I had just a few left. So what I'm gonna do, oh dear, why do I always do that? Oh well, gotta eat those ones. Okay, so now I'm going to, how do you melt this? Okay, so I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of water in here. Okay, I've got 2 tablespoons of water and I'm gonna throw this in the microwave and get it melted. All right, got my caramel all melted mostly. Okay. Yeah. You can put this in a piping bag, but I think I'm just gonna dollop. Let's see, can I dollop correctly? Oh, that's working pretty good actually. Okay, now the question is, can I just put the mini chocolate chips on top and it'll melt on the, I don't know if that'll work, or do I need to melt my chocolate chips? That is the question. Let's see. I'll keep dolloping and then I'll let you know which one works better. Okay, so let me see if my chocolate chips, ooh, they did melt. Well, there you go. Well, that worked pretty handy. These ones might have cooled off too soon, but give it a try and see. If not, what I could do is just stick them in the oven for just a couple of minutes. This recipe is in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, volume 1, on page 334. This is the original recipe that I adapted it from. Now, this might not be such a great idea if you're reusing your chocolate, or I mean your pecans. If you don't want chocolate in your pecans. But if you do want chocolate in your pecans, then it'll be okay. Or you could use your chocolate and your pecans that fell, or your chocolate that your pecans fell in here, and make chocolate fudge. That's maybe what I'm gonna do. Ooh, I think I'm gonna do that. That's a great idea. See, sometimes my brilliant ideas amaze myself. Right, BJ? Do your mother's brilliant ideas amaze you some days?
Yeah.
Whatever, Mom. If you want to say so. Sit for just a minute and then I'll spread the rest. What do you mean? My brilliant ideas aren't so brilliant? All right, so that worked pretty well. Just let the first ones, what I would do is as I do each row, put the chocolate chips on and then let them melt. And then at the end, just start over here and work your way around. Wow, I'm pretty impressed. Okay, I'm gonna let these set up and then I'm going to show you how to freeze them. Here are my turtles. Oh my goodness, I love this new thing that I invented here. Never seen anybody do this with just putting the chocolates on top and then spreading it. That is so much easier. Guys, the majority of my recipes really are super easy. Why? Because I'm actually a really lazy cook, believe it or not. Oh my goodness, how delicious. Then in the next video, I'm gonna show you the turtle fudge I'm gonna make with these leftovers. All right, now to store these turtles, I'm going to just put them in my freezer bag. Now, you do not have to freeze these. You can if you want, but these can just sit out on the counter until Christmas, sealed up. But if you want to freeze them, just throw them in the freezer just like that.